Hello, hello, hello. It is once again a Friday evening, and I am joining you live from my house with a glass of wine, proudly with a glass of wine after the week or month or year I've had thus far. I just want to say hi. I'm just super excited that you guys are joining me once again live on a Friday night. It is First Friday, and I'm going to be very real with you. I'm having a little bit of FOMO right now, not because I'm here with you, stoked to be here with you. I'm having some FOMO because all of my friends are doing what we typically do on First Friday. They're downtown having a great time, and I am here doing this live stream, but only because there's some really important stuff happening in the market, and I think it's important that we bring it to you live, fast, action, blah, blah, blah. Like we're like fast, we have to like be up in front of you at all times when things are happening, and that's what my friend Amber and I do as often as we possibly can. In addition to that, I've got some personal stuff that I've been dealing with my father. For those of you that have been watching my Instagram and also just watching here, you know that I have been dealing with some really sad, scary health stuff with my father. So right after we're done here in the next 30 to 45 minutes, I'm going to be rushing over to spend some more time with him and squeeze that nugget for all I can get out of it. So with that being said, I'm super excited that you're joining me live today. I am going to be bringing in a very special guest here in just a few minutes. You know her well. Her name is Amber Coleman from Guild Mortgage, one of the top ranked, most amazing mortgage lenders and loan originators in the United States as a whole. I only work with the best. I'm the best, so I only bring you the best. So we're going to bring in Amber here in a few minutes. Just wanted to spend a couple of minutes alone with you just to let you know, thank you for joining me once again on a Friday. Friday nights are fun. And I've gotten some really crazy, awesome experiences and been introduced to new people because we're doing these evening live streams more often. So we're going to keep this trend kind of going. Amber and I are trying to find a time during the week in the evening that we can do this live and do it together. So I'm going to bring her on in a minute. We're going to solidify that plan right in front of you guys, live, large and in charge. But today we're stoked because we're going to be talking about the fact that yes, rates are dropping. Yes, things are crazy. Yes, the market's crashing and tariffs are flying all over. And if you're watching the news, which Amber and I try not to do, you're probably getting a little bit worried about what's going on. So we're here to chill you out. That's why I've got the wine. And I'll be drinking it a lot here in a minute. And we're going to go from there. So I'm going to bring on none other than one of the greatest friends I've ever had in my entire life, one of the best loan originators in the United States, Miss Amber Coleman herself. Hello, Amber. How are you, my friend?
Hello, how are you? Hi, everybody.
Hi, hi, hi. It's a little dark where you are. You just rushed back from another meeting into your office, and we're not usually live this late, my friend, but you look
I
damn
know
good
I
for
don't
it
know how to
being
work the
dark.
lighting when it starts the sun starts going down on my side of the building, right?
I love it. No, no, we're going to fix that here in a minute. I just have to ask you, though, how do I look right now? And what do you think of this backdrop?
You look amazing. Honestly, the makeup's beautiful, the
Oh
hair is
my God.
beautiful. I like the
What
sky
makeup?
thing going on, and the backdrop is nice. It's all beautiful, Lacey.
Thank you. Thank you. I needed a few compliments today. It's been a rough month. It's been a rough week.
You
So
do look
anyway,
really
so
cute.
thank you. So I spent the week a couple of days ago last weekend doing some new wallpaper in my new office. This is coming together. There's so much new content coming
Oh,
your
you're gonna
way.
have to show us when it's all done.
Oh yeah, we're doing some really fun stuff, some time lapse stuff. Like you don't even know what's coming your way. We got a podcast coming. Did I just slip and say that I have a
Oh,
podcast
you
coming?
slipped, yeah.
Sure did. I did. Anyway, all that being said, Amber, let's get to the nitty gritty. First of all, thank you for joining me on a Friday evening. I know your husband's not happy with me tonight, but it's okay. I'll make it up to him. I promise. I'll make it up
We're
to him.
missing the traffic right now. It's all good.
All right. Well, tell your husband I'm sorry. He gave you to me this evening so that we could talk about what the hell is going on in just in and around markets in general. So the stock market's crashing, the freaking tariffs are flying left and right, up, down, left and right. They're getting reversed, they're getting put on, all this crazy stuff. You and I purposefully do not watch the news. And I love that about us. I love that we stay away from the news. Today, here's why we don't watch the news. Can I tell a funny story first and
Tell it.
foremost?
No, of course you can tell a funny story.
Okay, I'm gonna tell you a funny story. So when I have a down moment, and it's not often, especially this last few months with my dad being so sick and just trying to juggle life, I today had like a 5 minute window where I was like, I just need to numb my brain. So I went on TikTok. What do we do when we need to numb our brain? We go on TikTok.
Oh, go on
Yay.
TikTok.
Yes. So I went on TikTok and unfortunately and fortunately, I had this thing happen that I got so excited. I felt so smart. This guy said, Warren Buffett said this is quoted to saying Trump's making the best economic moves he has ever seen in 50 years. And I was like, Warren Buffett, listen, we know we listen to Daddy Warren when we need to, Mr. Warren Buffett. We know we call Mr. Grandpa Buffett when we need some insight on what's going on with the market, right? That man's a genius for geniuses and he knows what he's doing when it comes to money. So I was like, oh my God, I need to listen. So I tuned in. This guy in the thing said, I made notes. I have to read this to you. He said, Warren Buffett said that Trump is making the best economic moves that he's ever seen in 50 years. What he's doing is he's pushing cash into treasuries, which is then forcing our, Daddy Jerome Powell, we love to call him Daddy Jerome Powell, to pushing cash into treasuries, which is helping him, forcing him to drop rates, which is allowing us to refinance our debt as like U.S. debt at a much lower rate. It's weakening our dollar. It's giving us better mortgage rates because we know the trickle down effect that we've talked about before. All of this while he's crashing the market 20% or something to the end. So all these like numbers and things are flying at me. And you know me, like I'm obviously smarter than I let on. I know what's really going on in the market. I know what's really happening. But I was like, man, this guy really summed it up. And he's using Warren Buffett to solidify what he's saying. So I did a little like Snopes little Google search and it said Warren Buffett did not by any means support what Trump was saying. And I was like, this is why I don't listen to the news. And this is why I don't watch freaking social media. So all of that to be said, that's why we don't pay attention to the news. But whether Warren Buffett suggests that things are good and this is a good plan or not, what's happening is really happening, Amber. What's really happening is the fact that cash is being now pulled from the stock market, which has been crashing for a couple of days now, at least from what I've been hearing and what I've been seeing. It's pushing into bonds, pushing money elsewhere, right? Which is supposed to supposedly force the upcoming Fed meeting to lower rates, which will help us in the long run. But then I called you yesterday and I said, Amber, what's going on with the rates? And you were like, lock that rate. I don't know what to do. We better lock that rate. It was like, you were like,
I've been having fun the last 2 days. Yeah.
You were like Wolf of Wall Street when I called you yesterday. I was waiting for you to say, I'm not effing leaving. I was waiting for you to literally say, I'm not effing leaving, like freaking Leonardo DiCaprio, which is one of my favorite scenes of all time in any movie I've ever. So all of that to be said, Warren Buffett did not support Trump, apparently. I don't care who supports Trump and who doesn't, because I don't give a crap about any of that. What I care about is, Amber, my love, you're the reason that I know anything. Tell me what's going on in this market.
You know what Warren Buffett did say, though? You know what he did say, though?
What did he say, my love?
Be greedy when others are fearful. Be fearful when others are greedy. And right now is the time to be greedy because everybody is so fearful. We don't want to lose an opportunity right now. Okay. So,
oh my God. Thank you. I just feel so much less stupid right now because I got all like, oh, I'm going to sound smart. I'm going to bring this quote. He did say that, Amber. So tell me what's really going on with the market. Enough with my dumbass story. Pause, though. If you guys are watching this live, God bless you. I have not had enough wine. I've not even had a sip of this yet, actually. So I've not had enough wine to justify the craziness that I'm bringing to you. But if you're here live, please drop it like it's hot in the comment box below. Let us know you're here. Say hello. We'd love to say hi to you. If you have questions or you really do want to know what's going on, drop it. We're here to answer your questions. This is for you, my loves. This is for you. Okay, Amber, it's 5:41 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I have a glass of wine in my hand.
Late. Look at that.
Listen, here, tell me what's going on for real. I'll be quiet.
Okay, so remember how we always say good news is bad news is good news, right?
Yeah.
This is the perfect example, right? There's so much fear in the market right now. So what people are doing is taking their money from the stock market, putting it into the bond market. And the more that happens, the better our rates do. So right now we saw huge drops. Now, mind you, when people think huge drops, I have people calling me, can I lock my rate at 3? When we're talking huge drops, that's like an 1/8, a quarter. If it gets to a half, we're in a good mood, right? But when we're seeing the trend move that way, it definitely makes it easier for homeowners then to qualify for mortgages, right? So that's what we're seeing right now is the trend went from the trend honestly has been moving down throughout this year. Like you'll have bumps that go up and stuff. But last year we were at 7.5%. And this year we were at 6.5% on average. And so we're starting to see those numbers go down. So beautiful. in that way. Now, don't look at your 401ks, but if you're buying a house or you've been sitting on the sideline, if you're buying a
Amber,
house or sitting on the sideline, it might be a good time to pull that out and put it into the house, right?
I'm going to be real with you. Never, ever, ever was it on my bingo card, ever in my life, to think that I was going to be talking about bonds and treasuries and the Fed
You gotta
and
find
Trump and
your fun.
Trump and Trump. Like I never in my life thought that I was going to be so reliant on this crazy roller coaster that we're going on. It's not fun, to your point. Like, don't look at your 401k. But so what happens if someone is looking at their 401k and freaking out right now? What happens if they still want to buy a house, but they were relying on that? Like that can offset some people's like dreams of maybe moving forward with this plan to move to Las Vegas, right? Like looking at their 401ks maybe makes them feel less excited about their future. So it makes them feel like they just need to freeze and hold. What advice would you give?
Well, okay, so just thinking outside the box. So I wasn't ready for that question, but I can answer it very well. Okay, so just thinking outside the box. So the reason why people are moving money from stock to bond is because bond is more of like it's a more secure, like it doesn't have as many highs and lows, right?
Right.
So the same would be the same situation as if people pulling out and putting it into a house too, then you're buying a hard asset with it.
Yep.
So right now, why rates are moving downward and you have this money saved in your 401k, you pulling it out, putting it into a home, now that's like you're putting into a hard asset. And also remember how for years me and Lacey were
Yeah.
saying 5 is the new 3, right? So like once we start approaching fives and
Yeah.
like we're not that far off of it, right? So once you start approaching fives, then all these people that have been sitting on the sidelines come out and start buying at the same time. So then we have less incentives coming from the sellers, and then eventually prices going back up. But if you can hit that sweet spot, and right
Right.
now, like we're right now, it's just started yesterday, but like I'm feeling a good sweet spot coming up pretty soon. How about you, Lacey?
Agreed. Agreed. And I know I threw that question at you, but I knew you would answer it truthfully. And so that's why I didn't prep you. We don't really prep each other for this stuff, you guys. We just
No,
kind
we're
of roll
on the
with it.
fly all the time.
And you
Yeah.
tell, and with a glass of wine in hand, who knows what's going to come out of my mouth. But at the end of the day, like I knew you would answer it truthfully. And that's the reality, is that we're seeing whatever's happening with tariffs, whatever's happening with the president, like that's all to this side. Those things that are affecting us here, which is going to be dictated by the Fed, right? The Fed is going to be determining when those rates do drop. And a lot of the assumptions are based off of all the other stuff that we can't really weigh ourselves down with. I put post-it notes together with wrong information earlier today, thinking that I knew what I was talking about. And I was like, no, Lacey, we stay in our lane, we stay in our box. We learn about those things, we know about those things, but we don't need to educate about those things. So here's what I'm
But
going to
I'm
educate
so
you
glad
about.
you brought up Warren Buffett because it just reminds us of our saying that we've been saying for years. And right now's the time,
Yes.
right?
Right. So Amber, that might have been slightly planned. Maybe not. Maybe I'm just dumb luck. But regardless, Amber and I have been saying since at least 2018, 2017, 2018, probably 2018, when we started doing these live streams, and 2020 is when we started getting really regular. Everybody and their mom thought that everything was going to crash in 2020. Everyone and their
Yeah.
mom thought all these outside things were going to make our economy here in Las Vegas, our housing market go away. Nothing has done that thus far. What it has done is fueled the fire underneath. We are at a moment right now in Las Vegas history, and we've been there for a few years now, but it's about to peter into an area where it's not going to be that anymore. Where everybody and their mom looks at me and says, I wish I would have bought Apple stock back in blah blah blah. Oh, I had an opportunity to buy a house in LA, but I da 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 da. And now it's everyone's always doing the reverse rear view mirror. We want you to let you know we're in the moment right now where I'm about to flip that window that we're looking through to the future to a rear view mirror, my friends, if you don't act soon. And we are not act now kind of salespeople. We are not even selling you. We're just giving it to you straight. We've been doing it since 2018. We know the sweet spots of the market. We know what happens when people rush from waiting to price to time and price the market and jump off the fence and jump into the market. They pay the most. Those people pay the most. We've got about a 90-day window, in my opinion, before summer kicks in. And I'm just going to let you know my pipeline for the number of people that I have waiting to shop for homes this summer due to them moving out of California because of the LA fires, due to them being disgusted with where they live in another area of the country and being done with the politics and wanting to move to a place that has no income tax, low housing taxes or property taxes, all the good benefits that are happening here in Las Vegas. They can work remotely, all those things. We're in that sweet spot. So when I asked you that question, Amber, it was really not to bait you to give me the right answer. It was just so you could reiterate what I was going to say already, which is, if you want to know a juicy, crunchy time to buy a house in Las Vegas, now, my friend, would be the time. So if you've reached out to us, hey, I'm thinking about moving in 3 years. I don't know. I'm going to rent for the first, or the others. I'm going to rent for the first year and then see how I like it. Please, for the love of Christ, don't do any of that. Please, 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 please do what this number is at the bottom of the screen. Text that phone number. Let's set up a phone call, or click on the link below in the description of this video. Immediately, you have access to my calendar. You can see when I have time. Boom, you book. Boom. You don't even have to fill out a form anymore. I removed the form. Did you know that I removed the form, Amber?
Did you remove the form? It's so
No more
easy
form.
now. Look at that. I should go in
Boom.
there so I can set up a time for myself.
Please do, because I never see you and I love you. But Amber, to your point, like I know I feel like a car salesman right now, but I have seen what's happened the last 2 days, and I called you yesterday, and you were like, "Lock the rate." Hey, Lace, what's going on? Hey, lock that one too. I was like, "Are you okay? What's happening?" I think you're crazy. So I said, "Well, we have to do a live
haven't been a day
stream."
like that for a long time. So when everybody was freaking out, I was like, oh, because there's a market within every market. There is a market within every market. And when the stock market is having a bit of problems, then we see it on our side. So like then the good starts happening. And honestly, the housing market's taken in the shorts for a few years. So
man, I love taking it in the shorts.
Yeah, so let's let people have some decent rates, right? So that they can get out, they can get a little bit of breather room in their lives.
Yes. Amber, let's pause for a second. We've got a lot of people coming in and out of this live stream. I know I just ran on a 3-minute or 5-minute rant, but I'm grateful for you listening. I've been pent up all day. Listen, I got a lot of personal stuff going on, my dad being sick and all this other stuff. I'm like, I need to talk to someone. So you guys being here for us on a Friday night at 5:49 p.m. is beautiful. Let me go through and just answer a few questions, and then we're going to jump in. I want to hear what numbers you're seeing, Amber. I know you cannot quote rates. Hold on, let me say this before I ask you. I know that your actual rate and payment might be higher, that you need to get an official loan estimate. But look at this thing on the bottom. I just updated it to be your official disclaimer so that I can ask you these questions. But let's answer a few questions, and then I'm going to ask you specifically, what are some of the rates you're seeing? What are clients doing? What are the questions you're getting? Are you prepped for that? Are you ready to go in a minute?
Yeah. I can answer that.
All right, here we go. Let's jump in and see what a few people are saying here. Hey, John. Hello, beautiful ladies. John Harris, always here. Hello, John. Good morning from Okinawa. Neil. Sorry, I won't be able to stay for the whole stream, but I will watch later. Neil, we love you. He always joins us from doesn't he always join us from the middle of the ocean? Like, this guy's like dedicated to our crazy ass live streams. I don't know what's going on. John says, how are mortgage rates dropping? John, give me 1 second. Actually, let's answer it now. Amber, how are they dropping?
You mean how much are they dropping? Like how
is it possible that they're dropping? Well, if the regular stock market is going down, people pull their money and they put it into things like bonds and treasuries because those are more safe bets for their money. They're solid, they're tangible, right? That then makes the Fed go, those things look better. We're going to then drop the rates for you guys who are doing short-term loans, long-term loans, all the things, which then trickles into our world. Am I right?
Yeah, look at you learning all that stuff. So like when the stock market's doing bad, they're putting into the bond market, and our long-term rates are mostly based off of like the bond market. So when this stuff happens, we see it get better. So for example, like during COVID, right? Because that's the nearest thing in our minds, right? When COVID happened and there was all that negativity out there, then the bond market started to drop. So we saw rates naturally drop with that. And then because there was a problem within the economy. So here's the thing, like sometimes when there's a problem like this that are happening and there's a lot of fear out there, then people will stop spending as much money. And then jobs could be an issue too. When that happens, then the Fed steps in and then they start they start either, doing what's called quantitative easing, quantitative tightening, where they start putting money into the bonds, and then they lower the short-term bonds too. So right now we're seeing the beginning of all that, where we're seeing things start to drop. So like, again, if you're on the sideline, that this is the start. This is like where the start of it, where the start of it happens, where you can kind of get like if you're in a place where you're getting close to buying, it's a good time to time it, because while you're in escrow, you could be where you could just kind of lock in. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Totally. Yep, absolutely.
Mhm.
I love it. Good question, John. Thank you for asking. It's a very clear answer, in my opinion. Let's see. Neil, I have lots to say, but I should be in town for your next video, and hopefully we could talk. Neil, dude, if we
Always
don't
happy to meet
meet,
you, Neil.
dude,
Neil's a
Neil's
fun
always in the
guy.
middle of the ocean, the ocean when we talk. We owe this man a coffee or something. Please reach out. There's a phone number on the screen, Neil. Let's say hi. Okay, Quentin. Hey, Laci, this is Quentin and D. Prayers as always. Hi, Quentin. Hi, D. Good to see you guys. Thank you for tuning in. Vivian C. Hey, Vivian. Oh my God, nice to see you. First time joining our live stream. I'm so
Hey,
sorry.
Vivian.
It's been a crazy one already. John, this is a Laci question and the beautiful redheaded Amber. As we know, this Trump land, and everyone has different opinions and points of view as to whether this market will thrive despite all factors on the table. Here's my question. What's your favorite color? What's your favorite Dixie Chicks song?
That was good. That was good,
John,
John. I love
John,
it.
I could kiss you, John. All right, color, and I don't even know I don't even know Dixie Chicks songs, but what's your
Oh,
favorite
I
color,
remember
Amber?
there were some good ones though, but I haven't. Oh, there were some good ones though. That was a long time ago. But
Aren't they
green would
called
be
the
the
Chicks
favorite
now?
color.
Because they're totally called the Chicks. Let me give you a few names. Cowboy Take Me Away, Landslide, Landslide, Let Me
Cowboy Take
Down.
Me Away
Okay.
was a good one though.
I don't know any of these. I can't tell you about the Dixie Chicks, but what's your favorite color?
Green. What's your favorite color?
With them eyes and that hair, girl, yes to the green. That's a leprechaun color, my friend. My favorite color is cobalt blue. Cobalt blue, which is similar to like a blend of this and that.
Oh,
It's like a
yeah.
blend of the two. This is kind of a cobalt blue.
That's
Good
perfect that he
question.
asked that though, so we know exactly what cobalt blue is.
Right? Bam Bam Rebel says my two favorite real estate ladies. Love you
Aw,
too.
thanks.
Neil says in a year, this is going to be a liquidation of bonds. Interesting. I don't know enough, but I appreciate you sharing that. I thought I was cool sharing earlier that I knew of a Warren Buffett moment that did not really happen. And I had to, thank God I looked it up before we went live. Janice Farmer. Hey, Janice. Love you so much. Janice says, hey, Laci and Amber. Janice's
Hey,
house, by the
Janice.
way, she has bought a house with me, sold a house with me, and bought another house with me. 3 transactions. And she takes tap classes with me sometimes. I do love me some Janice. And
I
she goes to my
didn't know
mom's
you
knit
did
shop.
tap classes.
No, I was a dancer at one time in my life. I still have tap
Ah.
shoes. Anyway, Janice, we need to do a tap class soon. Janice also hangs out at my mom's knit shop and knits. Janice is a friend. Not only is she a friend, she's a family friend and a client. Janice's house is in contract. So now they're going to be rid of a mortgage and they're able to enjoy the rest of their time here in Vegas at their new
Oh,
house.
congrats.
Congratulations. This is a good one from Jesse. Miliotto. What's the current number of inventory houses in Las Vegas? I'll give you a number just a second. What could a target number be to be considered a housing market crash? Great question, my friend. All right, let me go over here and log in and just tell you immediately, right in this moment on a Friday. Fridays are when we have the most inventory of any given week because everybody thinks that realtors are realtors and they don't break out of their norm or their boxes. And they all think that you got to list it on a Friday. My opinion is you list it on a Wednesday, late Wednesday, early Thursday. You get ahead of the market. You get a lot of people coming in to see what's what. Okay, right now, in this exact moment, my friends, we have 7,080, 7080 single family. Is that single family? Hold on, let me see. That's single family homes. If I look at townhouses and condos, we have 2,639. So 7,080
Oh,
single
that's
family
healthy.
homes. It's healthy. It's healthy. So what's that telling me? Couple things. So about 2 months ago, we were in the 5,000 range.
Uh-huh.
Anything under 5,000, I get itchy. I'm like, oh, we don't have enough houses. This is not enough. This is not enough choice for our clients who are buying. 7,000 feels really healthy. If we were to get to maybe the 11,000, 10,000, 11,000 mark, I would not see a crash coming. I'm never going to say I see a crash, but I would definitely say that's definitely a buyer's market and not a seller's market for sure. Maybe even before then, but right now it's a very healthy, balanced market. 7,000 ish, maybe even 8,000, 9,000 feels like there's a lot of options, a lot of negotiability, but you're still going to make what you need to make, and the values are not going down. That's not inclusive of new homes, so keep that in mind. There's always new homes going up, which are now starting to be valued a lot higher and priced a lot higher than even their advertising, my friends. So if you're looking at new homes, you better call me because I'll give you the real deal.
Okay, so 7,000 single family houses on the market.
Yes,
And then,
yes.
okay, so we have a decent amount of houses on the market right now, but not too much. Like the sellers could
Nope.
still reject,
Yep.
to pay concessions and stuff. I'm just thinking outside the box here. And then you got rates that are doing like this. So right
Yep.
now you have the opportunity to be able to, okay, I like the visual right there. So
Like
right
that. Look at me.
now,
Ready.
I love it.
So this is February. This is not March. We're in April. I don't have March's numbers yet. They're coming out, I think, in another 3 or 4 days. But right now, 2.5 months worth of effective availability is less than what we have right now. So we've probably got about 3 months, 3.1 months worth of availability, which is okay. A healthy, very even, very balanced market is about 4 to 6 months worth of inventory from what I've been trained and told in my time in this business 9 years later.
No, it is. But then if I look at it and you got rates sliding down, then remember how we're always here to like point out those little sweet spots that could be coming because if they start sliding down a lot, just like we said, remember 5 is the new 3. So when they start
Yeah.
hitting there, that's when all those people, because if it slid all the way down to 3, our market would just go crazy. Like it
Well,
would
all of that
literally go
inventory
crazy.
gets sucked up. So what I'm seeing right now, and I started
Mhm.
to say earlier, and then of course I did this, is that where we're at right now with the 7,000. I would love to see us get another 1,000 or 1,500 homes inventory effective availability on the market, because I do know that when those rates start to come down, all the good stuff, all of it, I'm not even the good
Yeah.
stuff, all of it gets sucked up, and then you have less options, and then people are overpaying, they're coming out of pocket. Right now what we're seeing is honestly like this moment before spring, right? Everybody, for whatever reason, I know it's weather driven usually across the nation, everyone thinks spring and summer are the only times to shop for homes. Anytime after August, nobody wants to buy a house. That's not correct in Las Vegas. Las Vegas is a 24-hour, 12-month cycle. We are never not selling homes. There's never a horrible time to buy a home or sell a home in Las Vegas. But because people who are moving from other areas are operating on that seasonality of spring and fall, that you really got to make sure that you're aligned with that and aware of that, because that's when more buyers are coming out here to shop. LA fires, on top of all the other things that are bringing people, but LA fires have added a whole nother layer to the conversation this year that nobody's even really talking about. And that's the reality of the fact that once school is up at the end of May, mark my words, my friends, it's going to get crazy. So that 7,000, mark my words, by the end of summer, will be down closer to 4. Mark my words. I just
Mhm.
know it because we've watched this over the last 9 or 10 years working together. So if you're thinking about buying a
Mhm.
house, if you're thinking about moving to Las Vegas, please, please, please take the moment to text the phone number on the screen, click the link in the description. It takes you straight to my literal calendar. You book time on my calendar. It's me you're going to talk to. We will have a conversation. I'm never going to push you, I'm never going to pressure you, but that conversation will give you an opportunity to ask me direct questions, for me to give you, not crazy like I am on these live streams where I'm like, buy hot, sell. Blah. I feel like a car salesman sometimes, but it's going to give us time to just really calmly discuss what's reality. If you're thinking about renting first before you buy, I think that could be a grave mistake for the investment time frame. If you can't buy right now, you don't have the savings, it's not the right time for you, whatever the reasoning might be, that's okay. There's always a deal to be had. We will find you the right deal. There's always a market within a market, right? But if you want to take advantage of the sweet and juicy, crunchy time, now through like midsummer is going to be the time for you to start really looking.
And then after you talk to Laci, then you got to talk to me, and I can give you a full game plan of the
That's right.
payment and what to do and all that fun stuff. So it's going to be a
Listen,
fun
you get the
time.
1-2 combo. You get the blonde. Listen, I'm the spicy, sassy one in this community. In this relationship. It's supposed to be her, but I was supposed to be a redhead, and I did not get the blessing of the red hair. So she got the red hair, I got the sass. But with that being said, you get access to both of us. We're really here to help you. There will be no pressure. There's never pressure. There's always just facts. And I'm
Right.
going to give it to you straight. And what you need when you're relocating to a place like Las Vegas is a bestie like me, right?
Yeah,
I'm
I
the
mean, you
funneler.
really do. Like, it's the truth. You got to have somebody that knows the city, knows where everything.
Yeah.
Like, it's just important to work with somebody you trust. And I think we've
Thank
done
you.
enough videos to know that we are trustworthy, right?
If you haven't seen a lot of our videos, you're missing out. First of all, this is just a small dose. And honestly, my produced videos are a lot better because I have a chance to like take a breath in between takes and I'm not drinking wine. It's like a whole thing. But we
Mm.
genuinely, genuinely love you guys. And we want the hope of home ownership to be alive in your heart. And the last 2 years have been a little bit rough with that, Amber. Would you agree?
Yeah, I mean, it has been rough. Like I'm impressed by the resilience, like to be able to take to like the faith almost, to know that like if I'm taking this higher rate, I'm doing it for the good of me to be able to get you into security, stability with the home, but the payment will eventually fall. And I think
Right.
that people that had that faith, your time is coming really soon where you're going to
Right.
be able to refinance it. If you're still waiting, get in before it goes too high, because the minute the rates go, the reason why the rates are going to go down is to stimulate the economy through housing. That's what happens. That's why the feds do this, do this movement, or they pull, what do they call, tools out of their tool belt to be able to stimulate different things so that the economy continues to move. So as they stimulate through housing, then we see
Yep.
prices go up, just like what you just talked about. So
My tool in my tool belt is a glass of red wine
I love
and
it.
Amber Coleman. And Amber Coleman. I mean, that those
Am
are,
I
it's
in
like,
the tool belt?
you're the tool belt. It's like, okay, go. Anyway, all
I
right,
love
let's go.
it.
Everybody thinks I'm drunk. I've had 3 sips of wine. I swear to God, I'm just on no sleep
You
for
deserve
about
a drink, Lacey. Have one for
no
me
sleep
too.
till Brooklyn. Yeah. Anyway, all right, we're gonna wrap it up. Let's give it another 5 minutes. Let's ask a few more questions. With 6 trillion investments coming into the country, the economy is about to boom. I don't even know, but that sounds awesome. So maybe so. Amber, how do you think all of the domestic, how do you think all of the domestic investments will affect the loan rates? That's a really good question. Have you thought through that at all?
I haven't thought through that yet. So, like, I'm trying to comprehend the question really fast. So, tell me what you think, Lacey. Do you think all the domestic investments will affect the loan rates? Am
I
I
don't really
thinking
know
that?
about. Yeah, so it's basically like there's going to be domestic investments because people are supposedly going to be starting to manufacture things here. The tariffs that are there's incentives for people to bring their businesses to the
Oh, so
U.S.
you're talking
My
businesses, not housing.
yes, 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 yes.
Oh, I mean, if we're talking business, I mean, that has nothing, like, it's going to make housing go crazy again. Because then we're going
Yeah.
to have a bigger economy, which is then going to stimulate housing and everything else. Don't be surprised then if the rates go up, if we start seeing things stimulated. So you want to catch it while the rates are lower. But like if that stuff starts happening with the domestic investments, if that's what we're talking, sorry, I didn't understand it. I'm thinking
It's
always
okay.
housing. I'm always
I
thinking, are
know.
you talking about like people buying from like for like foreign nationals, or like that's where my brain went right there. So
It's
thanks for
okay.
clarifying. I appreciate
No,
it.
no, you're good. Good question. Kendall says, I hope the rates go down for veterans and everyone else, like about 3 percentage points at least. Listen, I hope that as well. But Kendall, let me just give you some advice on that. I hope that doesn't happen yet. The reason I hope that doesn't happen yet is because I would love to talk to you and anybody else who's considering buying to get you to buy before that happens. Because if you can buy before that happens and endure couple months, maybe a year of a little bit of a higher rate, when that happens, you won't be trying to buy and scrape together whatever you can do to buy the houses that are on the market for the moment that they're on the market because they're going
Mhm.
to be 40. Remember 2, 3 years ago, 4 years ago, there were 40 or 70 offers on every single house that was on the market because the rates
Mhm.
dropped to a place that you're asking it to go, Kendall. And there were not enough houses to accommodate that. So everyone and their mom was pulling out mattress money and money out of their grandma's purse that nobody knew about to overbid and pay more than what the rest of the bidders were
Mhm.
paying. And it made itself it just made it a really ugly experience for buyers. So I do hope we get down to those rates. I hope that we get there when
Mhm.
everybody's had a chance to buy a house. So all you have to do is refinance. That's all I think. I don't know.
Kendall, what I'll say is that thank you. We love our veterans.
We do.
You have the best loan out there. And to refinance a VA, so I see miracles happening on VA loans across the board because it's common sense underwriting. What I would
Yeah.
do is let's talk about where the payment is right now and where the payment will more than likely go, so that you can kind of see like where you're going to be at or where you are right now, where you're going to be at, and figure out your game plan. So that way, like what to plan for, because it might be sooner than you
Yeah.
think. And just what Laci said, to refinance when they start going down, you're in a lot better place. And as a veteran, it's way easier to do a refinance than anywhere else with any other loan.
Kendall, yeah, thank you for your
Mhm.
service. I will say we just did a veteran VA loan specific live stream. So if you're on my channel or wherever you're watching us, go to the live stream section underneath like the main channel page and scroll down. There's a VA loan specific amazing live stream that Amber and I did where she walked through, first of all, how much we love our veterans, how
Yeah.
dedicated we are to our veterans. We both come from very layered veteran history, right? Amber, were you not born at Nellis Air Force Base, my
I
friend?
was, most of you know I'm born and raised in Vegas, but I was actually born at the hospital and that was Air Force Base because my dad was in the military. So, so we
So,
have a love
and
for our veterans and a want to help in every way
yeah,
possible.
yeah. So go there, learn a little bit more about what she's talking about with the common sense underwriting. There's a lot of good information on there for you. And Kendall, let's just talk. I mean, I need friends. If you can't tell, I'm alone on a Friday night at my house drinking
Oh,
wine. I
geez.
forced Amber's husband to let me have her on a Friday night. She had some plans. She had a life. I don't have a life. So let's talk.
You do
Let's
too. I don't know anybody that has more of a life than you do. Okay.
whatever. Anyway, Kendall, thank you for the comment and thank you for your service. We really love you and appreciate you. Official 908 says, "Where Lacy Cakes? Where's Boy Toy Jacob?"
Yeah,
Which Jacob are we
let's
talking
do it,
about? First of
Jacob.
all, I have a couple of Jacobs in my life, and they're both boy toys. Not my boy toys, but I think they're
And
known as boy
the
toys.
question is, which Jacob are you talking about?
That's what I'm saying. Which one? I've got my Jacob Gallen, Jake Gallen, who's the crypto king of all of Las Vegas. I've got Jacob's Life in Vegas, who's my friend who I've known for 11 years, who's not my boy toy. As much as you guys would love for me to have that happen, it's not happening. Anyway, Dora says she's coming to Vegas next month. She wants to meet me. Dora, I would love to meet you too. Text that phone number right there on the screen. Let's say hi. See if we can find a time to grab a cocktail or a coffee or just say hi. Let's see. Tijuana Taco says, great fans of Jacob and you guys for years. I will go through you guys since I retire in 10 years. Oh my God, Tijuana Tacos. Let's talk sooner rather than 10 years from now.
Yeah.
But thank you. Thank you for that. We really, really love you and appreciate you. Okay. Let's see.
I love it
Uh,
how Tijuana Taco said 10 years. You're thinking
I love
so
it.
far in advance. Look at you.
Amber, do you love that? Like that's been my tagline forever, and how much you and I both mean it. There's been so many times where you and I have worked with somebody multiple times where we've worked with somebody. They've called us. They believed me on my videos. They're like, well, you said call, so I called, and we've
Yeah.
helped them 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years later. They're finally buying their first house, and we
Yeah.
stuck it out with them the whole time, and they're it's amazing.
Yeah. In fact, we just talked to one today that was like, I've been watching you guys since you guys started, and now I'm ready.
I know, and I'm
It's
like,
so
my hair
cool.
and my skin is so much better now, right? Meanwhile, I'm like, that's 9 years ago. That's 9 years ago. Do you realize we've been doing this 9 freaking years together? We need to do
Time,
like a giveaway or something. We need to do something cool. I don't know.
yeah, time flies when you're having fun, huh? It doesn't feel like 9 years ago.
Or when you're drinking wine, which I'm not drinking enough of. Okay. Okay, a couple more questions and then I want to run back to you, Amber, and just ask you a few more that I just mentioned a few minutes ago. So, is there a waiting period for when you purchase to when you can refinance? Vivian, amazing question. Amber, I'm going to throw that to you.
Amazing question, Vivian. We love it. Most loans that you're going to do, like FHA, VA, conventional, there's no prepayment penalty on those, but most of them want to see that you've made 6 months payments. FHA and VA will for sure hold you to at least 6 months payments before they let you refinance it. So, I mean, most of the time you're going to need that much time anyway, just to see the market fluctuate and stuff like that to be able to refinance. But yeah, most of the time, 6 months.
Good, good, good. I love that. I
Mhm.
actually didn't know that. I thought it was 3 months a long time ago, and then you corrected me, and then I forgot again. So thanks for the reminder. Jesse says, Thank you so much. I'll be keeping my eyes peeled and around summer and even the fall. Thank you, ladies. We'll talk soon. Jesse, looking forward to
Love
it.
it,
Really looking
Jesse.
forward to it. Let's just talk sooner rather than later. We don't have to like hurry up and get to the end. Let's just talk soon. Bet on Mason, pray for me. I got super sick this morning, had to go to urgent care. Ironically, out here in
Oh,
Henderson while I was working. So I'm going to be down for some time. Glad to see you live. Mason.
no, you're feeling
Oh,
better.
oh my God, sending you lots of love. If you need anything, I'm in Henderson right now. So I'll drop by with some cookies or something after I'm done with my dad. But let me know. Let me know. How you doing? Are you okay? I'm
Mm,
sorry. Hope you're okay.
prayers, though.
Let's see. Oh, Liz says, "Oh, please. We know the blondness is spicy, but Amber is sweet online. Those of us
Oh, mine.
that I have met her know that those of us that have met her know that redheads and know that redheadedness is there as a warning for her spunk." Okay, Liz knows what's up. Listen, Liz knows. I'm gonna hide that comment right now.
I love it,
I'm trying to take credit for the spiciness because I was supposed to be born a redhead. I know it. I know it.
Liz.
Amber, have you heard any rumors of new programs from the federal level for the first time buyers? Amber, actually, let me bring this up too. Thank you, Bam Bam Rebel. Amazing. I am like always, when I say always, I mean, I think it's about one out of every 10 calls I do doesn't bring this up. So 9 out of 10 calls that I do, and I do a lot of calls every month. I talk to hundreds and hundreds of people every single month. All of them mention first time buyer programs. Can we just talk about that for a minute?
There's so many different, so first time home buyer programs are mostly like grants because that's the hardest thing, right? Like when you're buying your first house, is especially when we're in like the time periods we've been in where the cost of everything is so expensive, it's really hard to save money. So most of the first time home buyers are there to help you with down payment assistance. Now there is, because you were asking about, so if you need down payment assistance and you're wanting to buy a house but you don't have the money to be able to put down, don't let that stop you. There is so we've done so many different videos on down payment assistance programs, and there's still a lot of down payment assistance programs out there.
Yes.
Some are federal grants, some are like PIUT grants, so that like there's different types of grants that come from different places, but as long as we know how to utilize them, it's all good. Okay. There is
Yeah.
one program that's on the horizon that I know I've been hearing about it for a while, but it looks like it's starting to be piloted, and that's where they're taking a loan because it's hard for the payments going so high, right? So what they're doing is they're taking a loan and they're splitting into two halves. They're splitting the land, and the land is at one rate
Yep.
and the home is at another rate. And so that's being piloted right now, which when that comes out, it'll help you on monthly payment. I'm like, now that's a cool way to think outside the box. But I am expecting other grants to start coming out too. Like I've started to see some for like rural areas and stuff like that.
Yep.
So I think the best thing to do is let's talk. Let's see what's available right now. And the minute that we actually have something cool, we're gonna scream to the to the
Yes.
highest degree, right? Hey, there's a new
Yeah.
grant out there because we get super excited when stuff like that hits the market.
Yes, and I know you have to go soon, Amber, so I'm going to wrap this up. Thank you for that question. The reason I asked you to touch on first-time homebuyer programs is because everyone seems to think that's the only thing out there. And Amber and I have spent a boatload of time in the last 8, 9 years going live telling you that's not all there is, right? Just like Amber just said, there are free money
Mhm.
programs for everybody under the sun. It's like scholarships. Like I think of them like scholarships a little bit. Like if you have blonde hair and blue eyes, there might be a free loan program for you. I don't know. The reality, though, is you have to qualify for each of them. And they all have different qualifications and needs and criteria. So it's not just about being a first time home buyer. That's
Mhm.
amazing, but that doesn't amazingly and immediately open you up to everything. And so I think a lot of people just like, I've had people go, yeah, but I'm not a first time home buyer. So, and I'm like, what? So what do you mean? What do you mean? Like, are you willing to buy in this zip code? Well, if you're willing to buy in this zip code, you don't have to be a first time home buyer. There's this money, right? Things like that.
Yeah. Yeah, because the grants all have different requirements. Some of them don't require first time home buyer. Some of them require it. So like it's just a matter of us talking and figure out where your parameters are so we can figure out what fits. That's why it's
Love
important
it.
to do that game plan.
I love that. Alan says, "What's Lacey like with 6 glasses of wine?" 6 glasses of wine is like 2 bottles, maybe 2.5 bottles, Alan. And I don't know because I'm usually asleep at that point, so I don't make it to 6 glasses of wine.
I
You're
would say
lucky
you're
I'm
an
having.
enhanced version. I would say you're an enhanced version of Lacey though. Like you're like the fun. You're like the girl, like everybody's friend. You're the one dancing on the tables and stuff like that before you go to sleep.
I mean, I'm usually doing that before I have any alcohol at all. Me having
Oh, that's
alcohol just
without
kind of makes me
alcohol.
go, "Ooh." So this is coming down, Laci. Yeah, Amber has to deal with me at this level most of the time. Can you believe that I actually have friends? I don't.
Oh
Amber's my
my
only
gosh,
friend.
stop
So
it.
if you want to be my friend, my only friends that I have are at First Friday tonight without me, and I'm so freaking pissed. Anyway, okay,
Oh,
enough. Neil, Laci, when I get home, we'll get a beer or coffee. I would love that. I would love that, Neil. Please. I would love that. All right, let's see. Laci, I'll be in touch with about rentals in Vegas. Thank you so much. Dora, call me. Happy to give rental advice. Happy to give guidance. We love you. We would love to help you. All the things. Kendall, Laci, I'll be praying for you and your family, for your dad. Thank you, Kendall. I need it. My dad is very, very ill. He's not doing well. We are all in our process of trying to care for him and give him the most life he can have right now, before we have to say goodbye. So thank you for that. I don't want to get upset. Very much appreciated. And Janice, is getting me right now. I'm your friend and I'm not at First Friday. Shit, you're right. Dang it, you're right. Janice, are you polishing your tap shoes? Because we're going to be taking a tap class pretty soon. Do people like realize when they watch these? This is real. These are people that I've like sold houses to that I'm still friends with. Do you guys realize like that's a real thing? Like I don't have a life. You are my life.
oh,
You are my
stop
life.
it.
Just kidding.
The
I'm
circle
kidding.
never gets too big, right? Like
No, it never
there's
gets too
always
big.
welcome.
My arms continue to grow, and that's my favorite part of
Yeah.
our job. And Amber, I just want to take a moment to say thank you. Thank you and your husband for making time for me on a Friday night and for this beautiful crew. If you guys have not figured it out, the rates are dropping. You need to drop it like it's hot in the comment box below and let us know how much you love us. Drop it like it's hot in my text message right there. There's a phone number at the bottom of the screen. Let's talk. Let's get you ready to buy. Even if you're not quite ready for 10 more years, now's a good time for us to talk, because honestly, like 10 years becomes 3 years really quickly. And honestly, everything happens for a reason. You connecting with us could set off a momentum and emotion in your life to make things happen much sooner than you think. I
Mhm.
think out of I would say a percentage of, maybe there's only about 15% of the people that have reached out to me in the last 9 years that are absolutely on the exact same path that they set forth with. Everyone else
Mhm.
has changed, and we've been involved in that process of change, and it's been a beautiful thing to be
It
able to
is.
be a part of your lives. I want all the
Mhm.
drama, all the gossip. Tell me what your sister did yesterday. Tell me what your uncle did last week. Call me when things change, because all of that affects our timeline for becoming friends who drink wine on a Friday night shining our tap shoes, right, Janice? Amber,
Love it.
thank you for making time for me. Thank you for always making time for us, and for giving me a balanced approach to communicating with the audience about what's going on in the
Thank
world.
you, Laci.
Can we say it together? The rates are dropping. This is a judge-free zone. Reach out. What are we doing? We're asking them to what? Right
Click.
there at the
Oh, we used to ask click the link below, but right now
click
we're
the
going to
link
click the
below,
link in the description below or text
or
the number. Yeah.
that number right there.
Hey,
Boo. There
Laci,
it is.
prayers for you and your family. All the
Thank you.
prayers.
I'm gonna go see my dad now. Love you guys. We'll see you next week. Amber, I did promise at the beginning of this, I couldn't return to those questions I asked earlier. We're gonna do it next week. Are we good on Thursdays at 6 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 5:30, something?
Yeah,
Thursday
Thursdays
evenings?
are good. Thursdays,
So
yeah.
so I know we used to do noon on Fridays, and we love our noon friendlies on Fridays. We're gonna take it off the weekend so that you guys can actually, like, I don't know, kind of join us. Please do me the hugest favor ever. Save this, share it with all your friends, and then add to your calendar Thursday evenings with Laci and Amber. We're gonna be doing this weekly for a little while. We're gonna see how evenings go. We love you. We're so excited to be bringing you information about what the hell's going on in the market, because I can't watch the news anymore. I get the wrong information. But I have a smart person next to me. Her name is Amber Coleman, and we both have the same big, large beating heart. And we want you to move to Vegas as soon as you possibly can. So,
Mhm.
thank you. We love you. We'll talk to you soon. Enjoy your Friday. Bye. See you later.
Bye.
Bye.